Hi, I'm Brad Sweezy, co-founder of Avocati Marketing, which, we thought was a great name since most lawyers are advocates. So that's why we rebranded our firm. You may have heard of it as PR for lawyers, but it's Avocati Marketing now. And with the new year, a lot of law firms and lawyers want to figure out the year ahead and how to increase the number of clients they have and, grow their firm's revenue. So I wanted to talk about some 9 marketing tips to start your new year off right. So I'm going to be fairly quick on this. I'm not going to be as detailed as it could be because I know you guys are busy. I know you're probably watching this during lunch and you may be doing something else while you're watching the recording here or the webinar because I do the same thing when I'm on a webinar. So let's get started. If you've been in the practice of law on your own for more than a while, you've you've passed the failure rates, pretty successfully, right? Um, COVID was a little bit of a shocker for a lot of law firms. Let's say like immigration law, for example, took a big hit. Bankruptcy did not really happen like everybody thought it was going to happen, thanks to the various programs in place to help people avoid that. The bottom line is law firms fail. A little bit about myself. I graduated with honors from the United States Air Force Academy, which is the Air Force equivalent of West Point. I grew up in New York, grew up in West Islip, along with the co-founder, John Zayer. So I know Long Island, New York. I wanted to get away from New York for college and went to the Air Force Academy. I also attended Georgetown University Law Center as well. And I have a master's degree in, I think it's military operational art and science. So if you ever need a military campaign, I can probably help you. I did work inside and outside of the government, including in work in the Office of Regulatory Affairs and the FDA, particularly on the press desk, working, high level media matters and controversial issues and recalls and cloning and everything else that goes out there. So you, if you if you ever saw a recall, I probably was involved in it during my time there, and I worked at some other places too. I've been published in a column in Florida Today, which is a top 20, I think, weekly newspaper. I mean, daily newspaper in Florida. We've had clients in all different types of things, and you can go to our website and see, all our clients we have. These are just a few of them. The first tip, though, I want to talk about really is you got to invest the right amount of money. All right. And a lot of law firms, a lot of lawyers, a lot of businesses, they don't know necessarily what is the right amount of money to make their firm grow. I mean, the reality is you can get referrals from clients, existing clients, etc., and you can work all those sources. What you have to do if you want to get systematically new clients in is you have to have some money for marketing. So you define your clientele. Who do you really want to come into your law firm? What's your ideal law firm client? And is it, it doesn't matter. I'm a personal injury lawyer, for example, and maybe it doesn't really matter to me. I want the people who don't have a lawyer and they only need a lawyer when, they get in an accident or something like that. So you define the clientele, and that means defining who you want and actively even defining who you don't want to come in. You'll find that a lot of people are looking for lawyers, pro bono, legal aid, free lawyer, etc. So unless you use that as a mechanism to get people into your law firm, like a personal injury law, I've yet to see a personal injury lawyer do a fee for the consultation. But you define the clientele. And then what you do after you define the clientele is you target your marketing efforts in those mechanisms that most are able to get to that clientele. And you have to find the right channels to do it. And it's not just necessarily social media. Sometimes it's actually print, depending on your clientele. you're dealing with elder law. I'm in Florida, John, and the rest of the company largely is up in New York. But in Florida, my parents are in their 80s. The best way to reach them is direct mail. That's absolutely the best way to reach them. And you can market online to them as well, but that's the reality when it comes down to it. That's one of the more effective ways combined with some different types of advertising. So you target your marketing efforts using the right channels to reach your clientele. And this is the third important step is a rule of thumb. How much money should you devote to marketing? So if you want to grow, and this is across industries, legal marketing, it doesn't matter. It's roughly 10% of your target revenue you want to devote to marketing. You want to get $100,000 more in retainers or cases or whatever fees, then you're probably going to have to invest about $10,000 into marketing. The bigger you want to grow, the more money you're going to have to put based on that target amount. So you don't have to do it right away, but you do have to devote, 10 cents at every dollar to do that. And on average, that's what it ends up being. It seems like a law of business almost. If you want to maintain, you really have to have somewhere focused around the 5%. If you do zero, you're going to see your law practice just slowly but surely maybe maintain and decline slightly. So you have to put something into maintenance. And then if you want to be aggressive, then you're looking at 15-20% of your target revenue into it. And it all depends on what you want to do. If you really want to grow, you're going to put the money into it. And that means you're not just throwing money at it, you're putting money at targeted things that are likely to produce results. You evaluate those results and see, was that as effective as we thought? If not, then let's do something else. So you can work the variety of channels and really get the right mix that works for your particular law firm. So invest the right amount of money. The second tip, it doesn't matter necessarily how you do it, but a blog, a podcast, a video per month. It really doesn't matter. It matters a little bit, obviously. Video seems to have more traction these days with a lot of people. But if you take a piece of content, you write a blog, let's say 3 secrets to improving your website content, whatever, you write that. Now I can take that blog, I can then make it into a video, short form or long form, whatever. I can post that on YouTube. I can post that on social media. I can even send a link in my monthly newsletter that allows people to watch it, or better, they're going to go click on it. They're going to go to the website. They're going to see the blog in written form, and then they're going to see the visual. So you've got that. Then I can even take that blog and go, let me chunk this thing down. So instead of doing what you could still do that one major post, 3 secrets, I can then make 3 to maybe 4 different social media posts on it. Secret 1 post, secret 2 post, secret 3 post. So that content that you create once a month is so crucial to reach your goals and make it easy for you to grow systematically. And that's something that, for example, our firm helps. We help you do that particular thing so that you can grow and focus more on your practices. We have a lawyer on staff as well. John's a licensed attorney, so we can produce legal content that is well written, thoroughly researched, as well as written so that people want to digest it outside of, let's say, law. The third thing is you got to kick the social media junk food diet. Social media for lawyers, with the rare exceptions, and there should be TikTok on here, with rare exceptions, does it produce substantial results just by posting stuff? You have to be fairly aggressive and you have to be engaging. And by that, I mean the attorneys who really want to go out there and consistently, do work over the camera, do little bits, do little recordings, those kind of things can do it. can get some play. But again, you want people who are going to use your services, and it's not even it 99% of the time it is not worth the effort. One in particular is probably good, and that's LinkedIn. If you're gonna, try to get referrals from other attorneys who don't practice what you do, or referral sources, etc. But social media should not absorb the most of your marketing budget and efforts. It shouldn't. It should be used in conjunction with other things you're doing, unless you're willing to go out there and be, if you ever saw Better Call Saul or Breaking Bad, the lawyer in there, Saul Goodman, etc. If you want to do that kind of stuff, you can. What you can do, and we include YouTube as social media, but it's really not necessarily that, is those videos that you do, you put them on YouTube, and YouTube is a very often used search engine. So it's a crucial thing to do, but just don't make it the keystone of all your marketing efforts. The fourth thing is you got to use brand awareness advertising sparingly. I notice my thing here is covering the thing, but covering the headline. I call brand awareness a lot of times ego advertising. You see your face on something like a billboard, and this is a billboard of an attorney or a law firm, and there you go. Is that the attorney? I'm not sure. I don't necessarily understand the purpose of this when I'm driving down the highway in Las Vegas, for example. I don't get that. But they're spending a lot of money on this billboard, and it's all right to do that if you're doing it in conjunction with more direct to consumer or direct to business, whatever, marketing. But it's really just brand awareness advertising. So, you should definitely use it very sparingly. You want to call to action. And if you do use brand awareness advertising, you do want to make sure that you've got a big enough budget, and this is a small part of it. It's like the icing on the cake. The fifth thing is create a pay-per-click advertising campaign. Now, this is not for every particular law firm, but if you're doing something direct to consumer, it definitely should be part of it. And what is it? They're called sponsored ads. Google changes the name of it all the time. Sponsored ads, Google ads, it really doesn't matter. Those are the type of things that when somebody's searching for something, you can more than likely have your ad show. And you can control to a large extent where it appears on the page, so to speak. You can advertise for the top of the page, the absolute top of the page, the top of the page certain amount of times, bottom of the page, anywhere on the page, those kind of things. But it is the quickest way to get new clients. Now, why is that? Because I think it's Perry Marshall had this thing. It's like a bleeding neck situation. You got a bleeding neck, you got to get it taken care of. You just got in a car accident, or you just got a number from the insurance company about your claim, etc., and you don't think it's good. You search for it. You will ask for referrals if necessary from people on, let's say, social media and neighborhood groups, etc. But most of the time, people are going to search for it, and they're going to use their phones 99, not 90, a substantial amount, and I have that amount later in there. So we can help you do that, get new clients fairly quickly, and you have to know how to effectively use pay-per-click and Google Ads. If you don't, you're gonna spend a lot of money and not necessarily get the results you were hoping for. So, for example, if you don't put a negative keyword in there, pro bono, legal aid, those kind of things, your ads are going to show up. Now, that doesn't mean the Google algorithm is not going to try to have them show. So it's a constant weeding process with a Google AdWords campaign. Constant. It's not set up and forget. Because it's like if you had a garden and never weeded it, you come back and your garden is full of weeds. So it's not that. So you got pay-per-click marketing, you got the search marketing, you've got display ads that follow people as well. You can do YouTube ads and you can do local services ads or screened ads. Those are like those listings that appear at the top that you pay when somebody inquires on it. The challenge with that is a lot of attorneys are using it and you just get rotated in. And that's basically it. It would be great when it started. You know, you could clean up, but not so much today. The sixth tip is you got to engage with clients. Now there are a variety of ways to engage with clients. One of the cheaper, more effective ways is you do a monthly e-newsletter, you know, with firm news and things along those lines that you can update people with. The other thing is you do once a quarter or once every 6 months is you do a printed newsletter. The reason why, you and I both know your inbox is full and it's probably getting full right now. Mine is, as I'm doing this. You can look at an email and say, I'll get to it later or whatever. And sometimes you never think about it again until you see the next email that reminds you of it. With the printed newsletter, you're going to reach those people who might not be the primary person you've helped, but it'll be somebody else who lives in the house or whatever, or the business. So, and it's there, it's physical, and you can keep it. I know I have a little read file. I know John does. A lot of people do. So you just put it in a file and then get to it when you can. But by doing with that, you're constantly being top of mind with clients. And if you make your goal to be their lawyer, so to speak, like you're the legal resource. When they need help, they'll call you, and you might not be able to help them with this particular matter. That's great. You can refer it out to a referral partner, and hopefully get some referral fees. But if you don't do that, people are gonna forget. They just do. We're all busy and we forget. The seventh tip is you engage with nonprofits. I mean, it helps your community. It creates new opportunities for you to reach, increases brand recognition. I was helped out the Kennedy Space Center Education Foundation, and I did that for free. And with that became opportunities from it. I'm also, for example, on the board for the Brevard County Center for Rape Emergencies. And the board is a good way to help people in our community, my community, etc., get the resources they need for domestic violence and abuse. So that good also produces networking. So you're doing it with the right motives, etc., but you're also helping your firm. And I know on boards that I've been on, etc., there are often a lot of attorneys. So something I've noticed. Tip 8, I kind of alluded to this before, natural partners. You don't need partners to have a partnership. You don't need legal partners. You find people who are going to help you grow by referring people to it, like do business law. Maybe a CPA is useful, right? Elder law, maybe someone's financial services planner, those kind of things help. So you find the right partners and you have like a little sales force, so to speak, helping you. So I just wouldn't be completely depending on those partnerships, because sometimes if they go sour, your one lead source gets dry very quickly. And I've seen that happen. So you don't want to make that your exclusive thing unless your guys are, really tight. Tip 9, optimize your website for mobile. So 70-80% of searches for lawyers start off on mobile devices, smartphones, etc. And if your website doesn't look good on the phone, then it's going to turn people off. And you can look at your website, and I still see attorneys' websites that have flaws with them on the mobile. So it's just something you want to make sure it's high tuned. You have about 8 seconds, and I think you have even less than that to capture the information. to capture their attention, I figure you have about 2 seconds. So you want to do that. And the more you optimize your website for mobile, et cetera, you can help you with the search engine optimization. These are some bonus tips. So one, you develop a marketing plan now. Any business out there has a marketing, any sizable business out there has a marketing plan, usually done once a year, usually coordinated with a bunch of parties. It doesn't have to be necessarily that complicated if you're a law firm with one or two or, less than 10 partners or whatever, but you can develop the marketing plan. And it's just a process to make sure everybody's in agreement on what are we going to do the next year? What are we going to start off with? How much are we going to devote to these particular channels? And what are our key benchmarks, et cetera, so we can achieve those targets and evaluate whether we are. It's always good to become a perceived media community expert. And one of the things we do is we use a service called Help a Reporter Out. And so they're looking to talk to somebody. So you're going to be that person if you're comfortable doing that. But when that opportunity presents itself, you take it. Then you get a clip of it, et cetera, and then you post it on your website and social media, et cetera, and even in your newsletters. So people like that third party social proof. You constantly test messages and offers. You don't necessarily have offers per se. A lot of you can't do offers, but you want to constantly develop different messages, and test that. The words do matter. The order of the words do matter and can often impact results. The images you have on your website can impact it. All of these things, and you test, these different combinations to see, really what works best and what you're comfortable with. And I always believe, you got to know the competition better than they know themselves. I mean, that's something where, maybe it's the military officer in me, et cetera, but I think most businesses do that is, all right, what is the competition doing? What are they likely to do? And what are they doing that's getting business? And is that something we want to do, or can we go a different route? I mean, both Target and Walmart sell essentially the same things, but there's definitely a different type of shopper in each one. And so you can position yourself whatever way you want. I mean, I think a lot of smaller law firms are afraid of saying they're a small firm. And I think if I was talking to them, and I have to some of our smaller clients, is that's great. I'm a personalized attorney. When you call me, you're going to get either me or my paralegal. That's it. We're going to know who you are. You're not going to be you're not going to be part of this big cog, et cetera. You're going to be our client, and we're going to build a relationship with you to take care of your issue. And so it's all about positioning yourself versus the competition. So if you do that, you're all you're doing is increasing the likelihood that you're going to be successful. So, with every webinar, you have to offer something, I think. If you would like to do a 1-hour consultation, and it's free, and we can just have a conversation. You can look at your website for evaluation. We can discuss some strategy, look at your Google My Business and a bunch of other things, and really find out what you want to accomplish. And then we will put together a plan we think will get you there. And you make a decision, from there. I mean, we believe in results, and we don't have any fixed contract outside of a month, unless we do it. So we're not going to lock you in for a year, like some marketing firms out there. They lock you in for a year and you're stuck. We don't believe in that. So in review, you want to help, build your law firm methodically, implement the tips. That's the key. And then you tweak. Perfect is the enemy of good. And too often we strive for perfection in things that don't require perfection. So get it done. And don't be afraid to ask, uncle. All of us are not great at everything because as we go on, we focus on different things and our mind starts working in different ways. You know, you and I will look at a situation and I'll see marketing, 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 and you might see law, law, law. And that's what makes a team effective, is different parties working together and seeing things differently, but working together. So how do we connect? Well, if you got this, watching this from an email, you already know my email. You can call me, and that's my Florida number here. Our website's avocatimarketing.com. And you can go to calendly.com, Brad Sweezy, and look for a free law firm consultation. And then we can set something up and have a discussion and go from there. All right. Have a great day. Thank you.